name is Michael Weller. Title is self-employed sawmill operator slash rancher, and day to day I spend my time here on the property, feeding cows, fixing fence, logging the timber, selectively logging, and then the majority of my time is spent running the portable sawmill that I have, cutting lumber for small consumers. So I have been living on the ranch for 13 years in October 3rd. Shortly after I first started working here, I did inherit a few pieces of older equipment. Went into the local fourth generation tractor supply store in town and was talking with the salesman, and it's like, these are the things I need to try and plant hay, plant pastures, work with the cattle, and he essentially told me, well, we don't carry any of those implements. There's no agriculture in North Idaho. And it really kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
It's a way of life. I'm so happy because I can sit here and my son Michael is running a property. Judd Reed built it for his oldest daughter and her husband. And then I think around 1935 maybe, he sold it to my mom and dad. Margaret and Floyd Weller. My sister Diana was born 6 years after I was born, so she'd have been born in 46.
I grew up with a sister that was 8 years older than I am, and then 3 brothers, and then myself. I loved being on the farm. I would go out onto the rim and climb a tree and look around and thought, this is my kingdom. We had to hay. First we had just pitchfork the hay into the truck, and I would be on top and smashing the hay down. But then we got to have a baler, and so we had bales of hay, and I would drive the truck. I did the baling for a while, and it was too hard for me, so I drove the truck. My brother was being smart aleck, and so I punched the gas and I knocked him off the truck. I thought he was going to kill me, but he didn't. He just laughed, thank God. I got married and we went down to the University of Idaho. Since I already knew how to cook and sew and can and freeze, I thought, well, I'll just become a home ec major. I think just living on the farm is the one that helped with that. The classes were easy because I knew how to do all that. And every weekend we'd come home. And after we graduated, Neil was in the Air Force, and he got orders to go to Austin, Texas, and that's the first time I'd ever been away from home, and I was lonely. I was homesick. I was so sad.
We didn't start out in Micah Flats, and then we moved back, and we were very pleased. I was about 6 years old when we moved back. I remember the daffodils were blooming. I was very impressed. It was a good life, but a good mother and a good father, and he always had a job. My sister had a dairy animal that she took to the fair, and after 2 years of her taking it to the fair, it was time for Cutie to be butchered. My sister is up in the upstairs in her room, and the window faced right out on this killing ground. and she's shouting, "Murderer! Murderer!" And my dad says, "Well, I guess we could kill Bill's cow," because my brother was laughing. And his jaw kind of fell, "Not Spot." And my mother from the house says, "No, she agreed to have this calf killed, so you're going to kill this calf. You can't kill Bill's." So Dad up and shot this poor thing in the head. We'd be sitting in class. The new teachers meet the group, say, "What are you going to be?" "I'm going to be an engineer," "I'm going to be a nurse," "I'm going to be a teacher." When they came to me, I said, "I'm going to be a farmer." And so one of the names they called me, besides Larry, was Farmer.
I was actually born here. Exactly 40 years later, our first day of living back here was actually my birthday 13 years ago, October 3rd. I knew while I was in college that, and my major was in agriculture, that at some point in my life I would like to come back and work in agriculture. And I was given that opportunity when the family homestead was open and available, and my family and I were able to move here and start making a go of it. I had a cow. We affectionately call it lop ears. It's got ears that flop, you know, hang down. It must have a little Brahma in it or something like that. She was probably one of the first calves born on the property. At that time I worked off farm and I was doing a 40-hour week, and I came home, must have been summertime. It's like, I haven't seen the cows, didn't have many at that time, maybe 6 or 7. And I came out in the pasture, and I see to my left of me over here, out of the trees comes this cow, and it's got a 10-foot ladder stuck on its head, and she sees me. I'm on the other side of the pasture, and she sees me, and she actually came running up to me and just stopped there and just looked at me like, "Help me." And she stood there as I grabbed this ladder and turned it so it was rectangular between the things, and got it working over its ear, and then worked it over the other ear, and I was able to get it off, but she stood there. This is a wild cow. I don't have real tame cows. So she let me work that ladder off her head, and as soon as I was off, she kind of gave me the heads up look and kind of bobbed her head up, and boop, back into the tree she went. And one of the funniest things, still have that cow. She's about 8 years old now, but good old lop ears. Somebody else I was speaking with earlier today asked me, "Well, what do you do in your free time?" It's like, well, I don't really have free time. I have been blessed with the opportunity to take what I love to do and make a living with it. It doesn't matter to me what day of the week it is. I might be working, but to me it never seems like work. So I could be out hugging trees to see if they're ready to harvest, or just looking at the cows, seeing their health and how much, seeing if I need to feed them, or just running boards through a sawmill. It's all things that I love to do, so it's all just a joy to work every day.